I guess the strong feeling for one's country that exists among its citizens, and that could be manifest in a sporting environment, as I suggested. Probably that's the most common manifestation of a popular nationalism, waving the flag at tennis contests or cricket contests or whatever. Particularly, I think sporting contests where the nation obviously is involved, and in the Australian context, I guess that would be most acutely manifested in cricket matches against England, because that's the arch enemy, and you've got all of that parent country versus colonial child sort of tension manifest there. And I especially, Pakistan and India would be a very good example, I suppose, of political nationalism really intruding into the popular arena, where there's a real sort of cutting edge to the cheering at a cricket game because of the sort of tense political situations. I think nationalism in politics has become a bit of a dirty concept because it's so often associated, of course, with war and conquest, and most notoriously with Nazi Germany and the whole National Socialist movement. I think nationalism as a phenomenon cuts across these various fields of human expression: politics, economics. These things are associated, and just the nationalism of everyday life, waving the flag, having buy Australian campaigns, this sort of push to buy local products. That's an element of nationalism, little Australian flags on cars. Some countries perhaps more than others. I mean, if you travel around the US, as you know, there seems to be this sort of fetish for, in the front gardens of houses, to fly the stars and stripes, much more perhaps than in Europe. You wouldn't see it, for example, in Germany, because there's so much sensitivity, of course, about fairly recent history, about nationalism and the misery that it wrought. Australians are often regarded as very nationalistic, and I suppose that's true, but in some ways they're a little shyer about showing their patriotism than some other countries, I think. Certainly America, I guess. Why does nationalism exist? People are constantly in search of meaning in their lives, I suppose, and in a country like Australia, which is fundamentally secular and non-religious by and large, nationalism perhaps takes the place of more conventional forms of religion. It's a system of belief, like others, which can be manifest in non-violent and non-problematic ways, like sport, or of course it can manifest itself in belligerence, sometimes in quite ugly ways. In Australia we've seen, I think, in recent years, in terms of the immigration debate, the misuse of nationalism to further race-based beliefs about what Australia is and what it should be, and of course this goes back to the White Australia policy as a nationalistic policy of keeping Australia a European country surrounded by all of those nasty Asians, and Australia's always been rather sensitive about its geographical position. So it's a way of seeing yourself, which can be used and abused